I suppose to some extent we have to be, if not grateful, then at least, slightly pleased that things have moved on. But have they moved on fast enough? Are they moving on fast enough now? I mean, you say that you're taking part in a session which is titled Woman Know Your Place, and you can hear people visibly groan, oh God, not women again. And you think, yes, we are still here and still trying to kind of sort things out, and I'm sorry that it's very boring for you, because it would be much better perhaps if we'd just go away and be grateful for the fact that things have moved on, but they haven't moved on enough. I mean, what you said about Jeremy Paxman is so true. He lists 5 women because he couldn't possibly name all the men in positions of power in television, because he'd have been there all bloody day. Yeah. He talks about, middle-class white men being a beleaguered species in television. Well, excuse me, but Jonathan Ross, Jeremy on Newsnight, look at the Today programme, look at Have I Got News for You, look at QI. It seems to me that television is a fantastic place. I mean, and now I've sort of moved over to talk about from a presenting point of view for middle-class white men, and they are very much judged to be, the people who are imbued with a sort of gravitas that women are still struggling to achieve. I mean, the day that I see a direct causal link between bleach and brain power, I will admit that you can lump blonde women together, but until they prove that there is, why on earth does it go on? And it happens, it's not just to do with blonde women, brunettes who present news programs, blondes who... for God's sake, we're not cattle.
I'm sorry, but I don't consider that I would have succeeded in life if I was to give the McTaggart lecture. I mean, if somebody asked me, which they probably won't, but, if they did, I would say no, because I can't think of anything worse. Why would you...
No, you'd have to say yes, because it's important, because only 3 bloody women have...
I'd say no.
Only 3 bloody women have delivered them. Do you think it's women?
Yeah, I think, going back to Mariella's question, is it men's fault? Yes, it's men's fault, and it's women's fault. And actually, let's be a little bit feminist about this and a little bit trenchant about it. It does matter. And yes, we do culturally step back from doing the McTaggart. And in that sense, it's our fault. And blokes are more interested in power, in politics, in careers, than women are.
I think this is a classic case of be careful what you wish for. Feminism has delivered an enormous amount of good to the world generally, and particularly in this industry, but you come away from it thinking, well, I'm one of those lucky people who's got a great job, I've got a husband, I've got 2 young children. It's really friggin' difficult. Really difficult, actually. And you have to really, really want to make that work, to make it work. And I don't sit there daily thinking I'm being oppressed by Mark Thompson and other men. I sit there and think, having it all is really quite crap on occasions, actually, and to persist with that, and to play those political games that you need to succeed in this industry, and to be a mum, and to answer the phone calls about where the socks are, and remember the lunch money, and think where you're going on holiday that year. That's a burden I put on myself, but that's a tough old gig, actually, and I think that's very, very off-putting for a number of women, and I completely understand why they might choose to opt out.
Here's the thing, we were just talking earlier, saying, how many times have you read in an interview, say with Michael Grade, an interviewer saying to him, and tell me, Michael, how do you juggle your career with fatherhood?
Exactly, that's my
And how many
point.
times have you been asked
Right.
about motherhood? No one would even consider it.
But equally, you can interpret that 2 ways. One, that's a sexist question. Why would he not be asked that? But to be fair, I think that's something that I internalise. I do sit there and think, where's the lunch money? Oh dear, I haven't booked cakes. I mean, the Alison Pearson book is my life written all over. It really is. Everyone's distressed to mince pie in the run-up to Christmas rather than cook them for the school fair. I mean, I think it is tough. And so I think we have to also think, to what extent do we reinforce this by taking that all on?